Hello everyone and welcome to my SW Metro official channel. Hello everyone and welcome to my SW Metro official channel. There hasn't been any public confirmation or credible sources that suggest Dayton Brown, Robyn Brown's son from a previous relationship, has moved out to live with his biological father. Dayton Brown has been a prominent part of the Brown family, especially after Robyn married Kody Brown, becoming a key figure in the sister-wives dynamic. Robyn's children, including Dayton, were embraced by Kody, and he eventually adopted them, leading to much fanfare and discussions within the family. Any claims of Dayton moving out and living with his biological father would spark significant curiosity and attention from us sister-wives fans, as the Brown family's relationships and living arrangements have always been a central topic of interest. Dayton has often been seen in family gatherings and on Us Sister Wives episodes, portraying a strong bond with Kody and the rest of the Brown family. His relationship with his biological father has been discussed sparingly on the show, as Robyn has been cautious about revealing too much of her children's personal lives, especially regarding their biological ties outside of Kody's adoption. If Dayton were to move out and live with his biological father, it would represent a significant shift not just for him but for Robyn, Kody, and the larger Brown family dynamics. The Brown family has always dealt with transitions and changes in relationships, especially in the later seasons of His Sister Wives, where the tension between Kody and his wives became more evident. Robyn and Kody's relationship has also faced scrutiny, as fans and even some of the Brown children have voiced concerns over Robyn being Kody's clear favorite wife. Robyn's protective nature over her children, including Dayton, has often led to her playing a more involved role in ensuring their well-being and happiness. If Dayton indeed moved out, it would raise questions about the state of Kody's relationship with Robyn and her children, especially Dayton, who was publicly adopted by Kody as part of his new family structure. The speculation surrounding Dayton's living situation might also lead fans to wonder about Robyn's relationship with Dayton's biological father, David Jessup. David Jessup's role in Dayton's life has not been extensively explored on Us Sister Wives, as Robyn and Kody have portrayed a united front when it comes to raising her children from her previous marriage. If Dayton has reconnected with his biological father, it might indicate a desire for him to explore his roots or build a deeper relationship with the side of his family that wasn't as prominently featured during his childhood. This would also be a deeply emotional shift for Robyn, as she has been fiercely protective of her children's relationships and their well-being, often prioritizing their stability over personal matters. The idea of Dayton moving out and living with his biological father could potentially be viewed as a sign of tension between him and Kody, or perhaps Robyn and Kody. Kody's relationships with his children have become more strained over the years, especially with his older children, who have voiced their frustrations with him. Dayton, while not as publicly vocal as some of the other Brown kids, might have harbored feelings about the family dynamics that weren't always expressed on camera. Moving in with his biological father could be a way for him to step away from the complexities of being part of the Brown family, especially as the relationships within the family have grown more complicated in recent years. The show has always touched on the emotional struggles of blending families, with Robyn navigating her children's connections to Kody while also respecting their relationships with their biological father. If Dayton did move in with his biological father, it could signal a shift in how he views his identity and his place within the Brown family. It would also raise questions about Kody's role as a father to Dayton, especially in light of his estranged relationships with some of his other children. The adoption of Robyn's children, including Dayton, was initially seen as a gesture of Kody's love and commitment to his new family with Robyn, but as the family's relationships have evolved, the cracks in these bonds have become more apparent. Robyn's potential reaction to such a situation would likely be filled with mixed emotions. As a mother, she has always put her children first, and any decision Dayton makes about his living arrangements would undoubtedly affect her deeply. Robyn has always portrayed a very close relationship with Dayton, often seen supporting him through challenges, including his transition into adulthood. Robyn has been an advocate for her children's education and personal growth, and Dayton has often been seen pursuing his interests with his mother's encouragement. If he were to move out and live with his biological father, it would likely be a decision rooted in his personal growth or desire to explore his connection to his paternal side, rather than a rejection of Robyn's role as his mother. Kody, on the other hand, might react differently to such a development. His relationships with his children have come under increasing scrutiny, especially as his children from his first 3 wives, Mary, Janelle, and Christine, have grown more distant from him. Kody has struggled to maintain strong bonds with many of his children, particularly as tensions with their mothers have impacted how they view him. If Dayton chose to move in with his biological father, it could be seen as another sign of Kody's weakening influence over his children, despite his initial efforts to build a blended family with Robyn. Kody has always prided himself on being a father figure to all of his children, but in recent years, the emotional distance between him and his older children has become a focal point of the show, leading viewers to question his effectiveness as a father. Dayton's potential departure from the Brown household would also raise questions about Robyn and Kody's marriage. Robyn has been seen as Kody's favorite wife by both fans and family members alike, often being accused of monopolizing Kody's time and attention. If Dayton moving out were to cause strain in Robyn's relationship with Kody, it could lead to further speculation about the state of their marriage, especially as other wives have become more independent or left the family entirely, like Christine. Robyn has always been deeply involved in managing the household and ensuring her children feel secure within the family, so Dayton's decision to live with his biological father could be a deeply personal blow to her. Ultimately, the idea of Dayton moving in with his biological father would create a ripple effect throughout the entire Brown family. It would raise questions about the nature of blended families, the role of biological parents versus adoptive parents, and how family dynamics evolve over time. For fans of sister wives, such a development would undoubtedly be one of the most significant storylines in recent seasons, providing insight into the emotional complexities of the Brown family and how they navigate life's changes. Robyn's response to such a situation would likely be filled with both emotional vulnerability and strength, as she has always been portrayed as a mother who deeply cares for her children's well-being above all else. At the same time, Kody's reaction would reveal much about his current state of mind as a father and husband, especially as his relationships with his older children continue to falter. Whether or not Dayton has actually moved out to live with his biological father, the idea itself speaks to the ongoing challenges the Brown family faces as they navigate their unique family structure in the public eye. Kody Brown, the patriarch of the sister wives family, has long been at the center of dramatic family dynamics, often involving his complex relationships with his multiple wives and many children. However, one of the most unexpected and heartbreaking developments involves a plan between Kody and Dayton Brown, Robyn's son from her previous marriage, which resulted in emotional pain for Gabriel Brown, one of Kody's children with Janelle. This scenario illustrates how even well-intentioned actions can have unintended consequences and how family dynamics, especially in a blended family as complex as the Browns, can lead to rifts and deep emotional scars. Kody has always tried to maintain a semblance of control and order over his large, polygamous family, but as the years have gone on, the cracks in his relationships with his children have become increasingly evident. One of the more strained relationships is between Kody and his son Gabriel. Gabriel, who is known for being outspoken and independent, has often found himself at odds with his father, particularly in the wake of Kody's favoritism towards Robyn and her children. This favoritism has been a sore spot for many of Kody's other children, who have noticed the disproportionate amount of attention and care Kody seems to give Robyn and her kids. In the midst of this tension, Kody and Dayton devised a plan that they believed would benefit Dayton, but the unintended consequence was that it left Gabriel feeling hurt, overlooked, and betrayed. The heart of the plan between Kody and Dayton likely stemmed from Kody's desire to help Dayton navigate a personal or professional milestone, as Dayton, like many of Kody's children, is transitioning into adulthood. Kody has often been seen guiding his children through these transitional periods, but with Dayton, there is an added layer of complexity because he is Robyn's son from a previous relationship. Kody adopted Dayton, along with Robyn's other children, after marrying her, and while he has made efforts to be a father figure to Dayton, the situation has always carried a different emotional weight compared to his relationships with his biological children. Kody may have felt an obligation to help Dayton in a way that would solidify their bond, perhaps as a means of proving his commitment to Robyn and her children. However, this plan, which may have involved financial support, career advice, or even a personal venture, inadvertently sidelined Gabriel. Gabriel, who has always been sensitive to the shifts in Kody's attention, particularly as his father grew closer to Robyn and more distant from his other wives, likely felt this plan was another example of Kody prioritizing someone else over him. The emotional fallout from this is where the true heartbreak lies. Gabriel has been vocal in the past about feeling neglected by his father, particularly during key moments in his life when he needed support. For instance, during the COVID-19 pandemic, Gabriel openly expressed his frustration with Kody's strict and often unevenly enforced rules about social distancing. Kody's rigidity during the pandemic, particularly his decision to spend the majority of his time with Robyn's family while limiting contact with his other wives and children, deepened the emotional distance between him and Gabriel. In this context, Kody and Dayton's plan, whatever its specifics, likely represented another instance where Gabriel felt abandoned and unimportant. It's not just the act of the plan that hurt Gabriel, but the underlying message it sent, that Kody was more invested in Dayton's success or well-being than in his own. In blended families, the dynamics between biological and stepchildren can be fraught with tension, especially when there is a perception that one child is receiving more attention or resources than another. For Gabriel, who has already been grappling with feelings of neglect and isolation, this plan would have only reinforced his belief that his father was no longer as invested in him as he once was. Dayton, for his part, may not have been fully aware of the emotional toll this plan would take on Gabriel. Dayton has often been portrayed as a quiet, introspective individual, navigating the complexities of being part of such a high-profile family while also managing his own personal challenges. He has faced significant struggles in his life, including his diagnosis on the autism spectrum, which has required additional support and understanding from his family. Kody's involvement in Dayton's life, therefore, may have been driven by a genuine desire to help him succeed and to ensure that he feels fully integrated into the Brown family. However, in focusing so much on Dayton's needs, Kody inadvertently neglected the emotional needs of his other children, particularly Gabriel, who was already feeling sidelined in his father's life. Gabriel's hurt likely stems from a deep-seated frustration that has been building over the years. As one of Kody's biological children, Gabriel has had a front-row seat to his father's shifting priorities, especially as Kody's relationship with Robyn has become the focal point of his life. While Kody has always professed to love all of his children equally, the reality, as perceived by many of his children, is that his actions often suggest otherwise. Gabriel, in particular, has been vocal about how Kody's choices during the pandemic made him feel abandoned. In an emotional moment on A Sister Wives, Gabriel even broke down in tears, revealing how much it hurt him that his father had prioritized his relationship with Robyn's family over maintaining connections with his other children. This heartbreak was compounded by the fact that Gabriel, like many of Kody's older children, is at a stage in his life where he needs guidance and support as he navigates adulthood. The fact that Kody and Dayton conspired on this plan without considering how it might affect Gabriel is emblematic of the broader issues within the Brown family. Kody's ability to compartmentalize his relationships with his children has led to a situation where some of his children feel valued and supported, while others, like Gabriel, feel discarded. The emotional toll of this has been evident in recent seasons of A Sister Wives, where several of Kody's children have expressed their disillusionment with him. Gabriel, in particular, has been outspoken about how hurtful it is to see his father invest so much time and energy into Robyn's family while neglecting his relationships with his other children. What makes this situation even more heartbreaking is the fact that Kody may not fully realize the extent of the damage he has caused. Kody has often been portrayed as being somewhat oblivious to the emotional needs of his children, particularly when those needs conflict with his own priorities. In the case of Gabriel, Kody's failure to recognize how his actions, whether it be his favoritism toward Robyn's children or his involvement in this plan with Dayton, have deeply hurt his son speaks to a larger issue of emotional disconnect. Kody may believe that he is doing what is best for his family by helping Dayton, but in doing so, he has inadvertently pushed Gabriel further away. As for Gabriel, the emotional fallout from this situation is likely to be long-lasting. Feeling hurt and overlooked by a parent can have a profound impact on a child's sense of self-worth and their relationship with that parent moving forward. For Gabriel, this plan between Kody and Dayton may have been the final straw in a series of events that have made him feel like he no longer has a meaningful place in his father's life. The heartbreak for Gabriel is not just in the specific details of this plan but in what it represents, a confirmation of his worst fears that his father no longer prioritizes him or values his place in the family. In conclusion, the heartbreaking plan between Kody and Dayton, while perhaps well-intentioned, had the unintended consequence of deeply hurting Gabriel. This situation highlights the complex dynamics within the Brown family, where Kody's favoritism and shifting priorities have caused rifts between him and his children. For Gabriel, this plan was yet another example of how his father has failed to see his emotional needs, leaving him feeling abandoned and betrayed. The fallout from this situation is likely to continue affecting Gabriel's relationship with Kody, and it raises important questions about the long-term impact of Kody's choices on his family.